What is an open secret in your profession that we regular folk don't know or generally aren't allowed to be told about? The sheer magnitude of criminal cases that detectives have at will pretty much never even get looked at, much less investigated due to a massive lack of staffing. I hear the solve rate, closed cases, last year for homicides was only approximately 61% US, which sure sounds like a passable grade, but that does mean over 1/3 of murders go unsolved. That's a lot of murderers that might be walking around free out there. Makes you think we probably need more people working these cases. I like to imagine that a lot of the murderers kill at least 2 people and get caught for one of them. So even if some murders go unsolved, the murderer is still in prison. You sound like a prison half full kind of fella, Mr. Saget. We don't actually know how general anesthesia works at the molecular level. There are theories but nothing concrete. Dummy thermostats are pretty common. It basically works like a placebo where people feel more comfortable when they think they have control over the room temperature. It results in way fewer complaints. As a hidden temperature limits, the T-stat may allow you to turn it up 75°F on the display, but hidden in the programming its maximum set point is 68. It all makes so much sense now. Wear socks and bring your sweater. If you see 12 different sellers for an item on Amazon, in all likelihood the total number of sellers is probably 3 to 4, all of whom have multiple names selling the same item at different prices. Most people don't even know that real people sell on Amazon. Wait, real people sell stuff there? I honest to God thought eBay and Craigslist was for individuals selling stuff and Amazon was just an online marketplace for businesses to sell stuff. I bet you think eBay is where people auction things off. As a freelance ghostwriter, most of my clients are Russian or Middle Eastern men who publish 5 to 10 ghost-written romance or erotica books a week under female pen names. They spend $10K a month and double or triple that by flooding the market. At one point one client told me he had 6 of the top 10 Regency romance spots on the paid bestseller list. Serious question, how do they make money if they're paying you to write them? Short answer is they spend money. I'm not the only person they're paying. They have editors, cover artists, etc. They pay a ton for advertising. But that's how you make money. Self-publishing is a fool's errand if you don't have a ton to put into it. There's so much shit out there, and a lot of people just release their shit and wonder why it doesn't sell. These guys are getting great writing, with great editing, and advertising the hell out of it. Then, one of the names they publish under takes off, and that series will sell well, along with any other books published under that false name. All hotels have had bed bugs at one point or another. High-end and low-end hotels. What separates the good hotels from the bad ones are how they handle bed bugs once they are discovered. But if you ask the front desk if they have ever had bed bugs, they will typically lie and say no, since most people don't understand how bed bug infestations happen. Very true. I've worked in a couple different hotels over the last 10 years, mostly upscale. All have had bed bugs one time or another. Also, bed bugs are brought in by guests. Hotels do not just have them. Your luggage will typically pick them up when traveling. This is why you should not put your suitcase on your bed. You can also get them from movie theaters, bus seats, old furniture, etc. That is terrifying. The majority of regular broadcast radio shows are pre-recorded. If a DJ is broadcasting live, usually the morning shows, they still have no control over what music plays. It's all pre-programmed. They'll usually record phone requests and replay them during the voice break before the requested song is scheduled to play anyway, to make it seem like they are playing/taking requests. When the studio is empty, all phone lines are set to busy, so no one calls and realizes there's no one there to answer. Ancillary of this, most of the bits are syndicated, i.e., some hilarious bit where the DJ prank calls someone. The DJ part is re-recorded by your local DJ, but the same caller part is used by many radio stations. Same with celebrity interviews. If you ever hear your local morning radio guy interviewing someone that seems too famous to talk to a local radio guy, That's because that celebrity recorded an interview and their audio was sent to radio stations everywhere. Then the local gyra records the questions. We used to use a service called Benstown Branding that would upload loads of sweepers, liners, bumpers, basically tons of pre-made audio files for station identification, where we could drop our station ID into, and it would sound super legit right pretty quickly. Most hospitals are actually crazy trusting about who they release dead bodies to when people die. Oftentimes I show up with just a gurney and someone's name scribbled on a post-it note, and they just let me walk out with somebody's grandma without asking my name or getting ID or anything. So, like, do you work for a funeral home? Just have a weird hobby? Or what? I like to pose dead bodies in a little fake dining room I set up in my basement, like near my family eating dinner. So sometimes I go down there and pretend we're all eating dinner together and get in some horrible screaming fight until I storm out and threaten to leave them forever. Good way to blow off steam. I normally go for a Malcolm in the middle setup. I pretend I'm the invisible person Malcolm is always talking to. I'm a furniture upholsterer, and the amount of times other professionals just recover the old fabric and filling drives me mental. If you're paying for upholstery, ask for progress photos. Nobody needs all that nasty old fabric hidden underneath, and it's not fair to the client as they don't necessarily know any better, nor should they have to. My mother was a furniture upholsterer and she would unstitch and unstaple the old fabric which became the patterns and template for the new fabric. This was meticulous, so I can imagine people cut corners. We absolutely do that. You can make a pattern from the old cover as guidance. But too many times I've taken a piece apart only to find the original 1950s material and the client is shocked BC they paid good money in the 90s to have it reupholstered. The best/worst case of this was a Macu bench I did years ago. Client explained that it was her grandma's and that she thought her mom might have recovered it a couple times. 27 layers. I kid you not. 27 layers of fabric. We saved them all, and it was an amazing walk down memory lane for the client. I think she ended up framing them all, but besides the cute story, just make sure you're getting your money's worth with your upholsterer and don't be shy about asking for progress pics. When I moved into my apartment, the previous tenants left some furniture inside as they were moving overseas and didn't want to bother. They said everything that was left was mine. I got a small dresser that was left in the bedroom. Nice size, but ugly brown color. So I decided to strip it and repaint it white with black drawers to match my bed. There were 9 layers of paint on that thing. Originally it was light gray. I wonder how many people had that dresser over the years, or if it was one crazy person that loved repainting it. I'm an idiot, don't always know why the fix worked, and we don't care. I work as a hardware contractor for a fairly large insurance company, which means if someone's desk setup has something broken I replace it and everyone's happy. We had one desk though that pulled a ship of Theseus on me. I had replaced every part I could, and it could no longer be considered the same setup. It still didn't work, but only for the person who sat there regularly. We told her she wasn't allowed to sit there anymore due to solar flares. Late edit. A lot of people assuming it was user error, and I assure you it was not. The setup was an HP Enterprise docking station with 2 monitors connected to it that users plug their issue's laptop into. The woman's issue was her laptop would only not extend to those 2 displays in this specific space. Ley lines were annexed. Guess. This sounds like something out of the It Crowd. Have you tried turning it off and on again? At the airlines, we generally have no idea where your bag is at any given time. It follows a chain of events to get to the right place. If it ends up missing, no one is looking for your bag. Your file gets loaded in a computer, and when your bag is eventually scanned somewhere, a person is notified to grab it before it moves on to somewhere else. This also means, if you jump to an earlier flight, there is a strong chance that your bag is going to fly on the original flight. The time is usually too little to go find it, retag it and get it to a new flight. If you jump to another airline and we have already retagged it / handed it off to a different airline, it is done. We are not going to be able to retrieve it. It is flying on that flight. Just because your bag tag shows CLT on it does not mean it was accidentally sent there. We often send bags through multiple cities as it will reunite you and your bag hours faster than the next direct flight. Sometimes, we even send it on other airlines that you never even flew on. We may even send it the other way around the globe. X. Lax to DXB, Dubai. You may have flown through London on British Airways, but the fastest way for me to send your bag may be through Seoul, South Korea on Delta and Korean Air. We try our best, but it's a question of volume, staffing, time, and technology. Honestly, those 4 words "we try our best" is enough to absolve you of all sin from me. I'm too dumb to know when people are trying hard and when people are slacking off, so I just have to assume it's the former. And it's nice to know at least sometimes I'm not getting clowned on. That reinforced glass and that security camera may not actually be unbreakable or being monitored or recorded, respectively. If you can see the monitor showing the camera feed, it doesn't actually mean it's being recorded. 2. These things can just be there to make people guess whether it actually works or not. Go ahead, roll that dice. People typically just go somewhere where there isn't a camera or glass instead. Really glad the glass at the bank I worked at was actually bullet resistant. Guy shot at us point blank and it blocked it. If I had known it was a gamble I probably would have had a heart attack. Okay, I couldn't find the security video, but here is the FBI release on the robbery. As far as I know he was never caught. Link. FBI. gov/contact us/field offices/Philadelphia/news/press releases/armed robbery attempt at Wells Fargo Bank branch in Pottstown. There's a little Asian 19-year-old in that Mickey outfit. Knew a guy that worked at WDW about 7 to 8 years ago. He said Tinkerbell was a short Asian man. Edit. To clarify, he was not walking around greeting folks, though I haven't seen apparently. At the end of the night, Tinkerbell is loaded into a harness and flies in front of Cinderella's castle. This is the part he did. The other interesting fact was that Disney couldn't get insurance for this, so they paid him $500 cash every night. Said to be the highest paid character. Can confirm. Also worked at Disney, and it is true that Tinkerbell is a very small Asian man. Also Peter Pan is ducking mean. I worked at WDW, and we shared a backstage entrance with the Peter Pan meetup area. He always seemed so rude around people that weren't his character attendant or another performer. Also has like 30 and has been working there forever. Thanks for watching. Don't leave before leaving a like to this video.